All right, Chris, we're all yours.
Right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kate. This is great. The roving camera, technical support, good sound, good camera. Next, we'll be doing lighting, makeup. My mom will be happy about that. I am not a makeup wearer. So, Gloria, the daily word that you read today just reminded me of, I've been listening to, oh shoot, what's the author that wrote The Surrender Experiment, The Untethered Soul? Yes, Michael Singer. I've been listening to some YouTube. He has a podcast. And the one that I just listened to last night and this morning was all about that fear, right? Or any emotion that you can get tangled up in. A tool that I learned, in addition to that great affirmation from the Daily Word, is called the 90-second rule. Has anybody heard of that? It's like, the idea is let the emotion or the feeling wash through you and over you, and count to 90 seconds. And by the time 90 seconds is up, that emotion it's gone through and done its job, as opposed to trying to not feel it or suppress it or act on it immediately. 90 seconds it's doable. It's good practice. Yeah, it's a little longer than the 5 seconds. 90 seconds. So what do you do in the 90 seconds? Say the affirmation, know that you're safe, right? Know that you're in divine love, the arms of the divine, breathe. But the most important thing, relax your body. Just relax and let go. And that's, Michael Singer has a whole hour podcast just about relax. I can tell you afterward. It's something like what you really need to do to be free. It's something like that. And that's it. The 90-second rule. He doesn't call it that, but he says when it comes up, just relax. Yeah. So great. All right. So we are continuing our journey. This is my second Sunday here. What a great week it has been. So many, all of you have, just so warmly welcomed me. I had a beautiful walk in the park. I got to enjoy the oratory and an organ concert, the botanic garden at night, howling like a wolf. That was just magical. My favorite thing about that, how many of you seen that, the light at night in the botanic garden? So I guess they change it up every year probably, right? A little bit. So my favorite part was the tree show. I call it a tree show. But so there's this big tree. It's got this beautiful lighting and it's a whole show. You can watch it for like 5 minutes. And I just thought, that is the coolest thing, the way they lit it up, the way they give it a heartbeat at the end, the sound effects, the little lights in the backgrounds, you feel, yeah, it's a whole story with the tree, this big tree. Do you happen to remember the kind of tree? Kate took me to this. It looked maybe an oak or something. Yeah, we were one of the last people in they're enjoying it. Yeah, but this idea of the tree being the center of the show with all the sound and lighting effects was just, a friend of mine who loves trees as much as I do said she bets the tree really enjoyed all that attention, right? And our trees, my main message is, trees, animals, plants, elements, stones, they're all our kin. We're related to all of them. They're more than objects. They are part of us, right? As our bodies have evolved over time, we've got these basically still Stone Age bodies in terms of evolution in industrial urban settings. Is it any wonder that, we feel disconnected sometimes, or we have health issues and emotional issues and things like that? It's our lifestyle and culture. But one thing that science is starting to show why this is true. If you can connect your physical body more to the outdoors, whether it's just a leaf or you're going into the park, you don't have to like live a hermit on the top of a mountain. Just connect with some aspect of the natural world as though it is part of you. And then science is showing that when you're in a forest, have you heard of forest bathing? From Japan, forest bathing. Yeah, Shinrin-roku is the Japanese word for forest bathing. And there's a lot of growing science in the US too about why does it feel so good to go for a walk in the park? Well, and you know how when you go for a park, different seasons smell different ways? And you can smell the soil and you can smell the leaves and the bark and other things too. But the crowns of trees, most trees give off terpenes, which are actually something that an aerosol that we breathe in, not an essential oil, but an aerosol that we breathe in, and it activates circuits in our brain and our bodies that improves our health. It gives us a stronger immune system. It calms our nervous system down. It has all kinds of health benefits that are measurable, and science is measuring those results. So on the spiritual aspect, you're like, oh, of course. But it's nice for science to give us yet another reason to connect with the natural world. And of course, you know, therapy pets, right? Petting an animal or just feeding the birds, you know, just and merging. We had, let's see, how many of you now have a power animal, right? From Wednesday, right? A spirit being or a totem. So we have whole nother way to relate, right? To relate. Not all four-legged, winged, finned, right? All the different, yeah, in a spider, yeah, it could be an insect. I don't think anybody had a plant in our group, but I do have a friend that has a plant, spirit animal. So we can relate on multiple levels. And the one of the key messages is just to more often consciously move our attention into the natural world, even if it's not physical. We can imagine ourselves out in the natural world, and it does shift our consciousness. So many indigenous traditions, and I've learned a couple, use a wheel, a medicine wheel, as a way to orient your consciousness and to have, you know, move your consciousness on purpose into the east, and all that represents. Move your consciousness on purpose. Well, east here is this way, yeah, into the south. And using the cardinal directions, the upper world and the lower world. So last week I gave an overview of that. And this week, and for the next 4 or 6 weeks, I guess it is, or 5 weeks, we're going to be doing every talk is an aspect. Every talk is a direction. So we're going to start our wheel with the east. Now, I learned universal shamanism from Don Oscar Miro Casado's tradition, which is inspired by the mountain and the shore of Peru. So he's got the highlands and also the more of the beach side. And he got the message around 2012 when the Pachacuti was happening, the change in the energies. He decided to actually start a program for North Americans and start teaching not his Peruvian traditions, but a version of it made for us, right? We're very accessible. And it's still, you know, there's a lot of Quechua words in it and all that. So it's inspired by Peruvian shamanism and indigenous tradition, but it's not about that. But I did bring this to share and let you pass it around. It's a Mesa tradition. Now, I went to a workshop once, and there was this guy carrying around this pillow of this beautiful fabric. Looked like a pillow to me. He always put his head on it. He had it in his lap for meditation. And I finally said, well, what's that beautiful object? You know, it was about this big, all folded up, had like a little tie on it and stuff, and a bell. And he goes, that's a mesa. And this is about a decade ago now. I had no idea what that was. And it's all a mesa is. Did anyone have one, by the way? Any mesa carriers in here? It's just a way to carry sacred objects. All right. And that's usually stones, any kind of sacred objects, and you wrap it and you can carry it around, and you get it charged up, like when you are praying or on your meditation altar, or you go to service, so you can bring it with you and charge it up. And if you go to a fire or going out in nature, people carry it with them, and it receives and gives energy, and you can connect it with other people's mesas. So when we have gatherings in Chapel Hill, where I live in North Carolina, people, if they have a mesa, they bring it, they put it around the fire. And they use it in their own little personal fire releasing ceremonies, and they add things to it. You know, some of the things are really big. When I went to Don Oscar's first, he makes the whole room a mesa. All right, he marks off the directions, And the center uses lights. There's flowers everywhere. The whole room is a big ceremony. It's so beautiful, but it's all the wheel of consciousness. And the reason that you would use such a tool is to just give you more support for your imagination and your physical ceremony is just a physical manifestation of something in your imagination, right? It helps to have objects when you're trying to remember something or experience something. It helps to have candles. It helps to have rituals like lighting the 8 candles of the world's religions, you know, having the candles here at our podium. It helps. So a mesa is just a ritual tool. This happens to be I'm doing show and tell now. So here's a beautiful fabric that's made in Peru for mesas. It actually started out as a baby blanket. I guess this cloth is called a mastana cloth. And the reason I have this one is the pattern here represents the rising and the setting sun. And then there are these little people that you can see here. Maybe this one I can show. Here's his face. It's like a triangle body, arms, legs, and this is the face. And you can see eyes and a little mouth, but look at the rays coming out, right? Connection to the divine. This is an energy cloth, and it's used in ceremony. It has served as my mesa. I didn't bring all my containers of things, but I wanted to pass this around so that you could feel its energy. So you can have a wheel in your imagination. Eventually I'll paint it. I didn't get around to that today, but I wanted to start our first direction of the power of the East. And in universal shamanism, you use your mesa as a meditation platform, basically. You set it up like on a table or on the floor, and it's an open mesa tradition. So it's open, and you have stones and shells and feathers and different objects that represent the meanings of the directions. And I'm going to talk about the East here. Somebody want to get that and pass it around? Thank you. Just get the feel for it. See if you can find the energy guys in there. Okay, the East. And let me come down. Let's actually. Should we do a quick opening sacred space together? You want to stand up and join me? I'll do it here so people can see me. Okay. Yeah, if you can clap your hands. We're gonna open our sacred space, and then I'll talk all about the East. We're gonna face the East, which is this way here. Loving, compassionate spirits of the East. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for sending us your love and support. Thank you for the new day. Now we're facing the south approximately. Good morning, loving, compassionate spirits of the South, home of water and giving power. Thank you for sharing your love today. We honor you. Now the West, loving, compassionate spirits of the West. The day is going to end in a blaze of glory while some of us are looking at the sunset. Right? We thank you for being with us. We honor you this morning. Aho. And now we'll turn to the North. Loving, compassionate spirits of the North. Good morning. We welcome you. Thank you for your support today. Thank you for your wisdom and your knowledge. Aho. Now we look up for the upper world. Loving, compassionate spirits of the upper world, including our guides and our teachers and our ancestors. Think of all the holy people that are our helpers and our guides, our angels, ascended masters. Conjure up whatever that means to you. Thank you for your wisdom and guidance and care. Aho. And now we do the earth. So if you can, or you can look down, or you can bend over and touch the ground. Good morning, Pachamama, Mother Earth. Thank you for your love, support. Thank you for all that you give us. We honor you this morning. Aho. And last but not least, so that's 6th direction. The 7th is right here inside of us, right? And this is where unity comes in, right? Right here, our soul. So put your hand on your heart. Just feel yourself at the center of all the 4 directions, the upper and the lower. And just feel yourself connected in the center. Feel all that is within you. Feel all that love, all that divine power, and your access to the spiritual realm and your soul and the higher powers, all within us. And so it is. Yay, thanks for joining me in that. That's a ritual I do every morning. So why do I do that every morning? It's because it reminds me to tune in. And there's a lot more to it. You can spend a lot of time like really going through all the animals and everything you want. You can make it as elaborate as you want. But why don't you sit down and I'll tell you about the East. What I'm looking forward to doing is building a Unity Center of Montreal customized wheel for you. For whatever is, what's the geography, what colors come to mind, what plants, because every place is different. And every wheel across Indigenous traditions, there's no like right way, right? It's all place-based. So where are the mountains? Where's the river? What kind of animals do you have here? There are some similarities, but there's more differences than similarities. So it doesn't matter what the details are. What matters is the point that you're using a wheel as a tool to deepen relationship and to use it as a tool to help you deepen your awareness and your conscious awareness. So the East, I got to thank Catherine for letting me borrow her book from Sun Bear, which is American, right? Isn't it North America, American Native tradition, Indigenous tradition here? Yeah, Chippewa. That was made available, I think it was in the 70s by Sun Bear to people that were non-native. And I have your notes here just to give you an idea. So I'll share two examples, but then let's make our own. There's some similarities that will keep as core. So in the Pachacuti tradition, the East is the home of Inti Chaita. He is the sun god. It is a male. It is the sun god. And I'm missing a piece of paper, but that's okay. So the sun god creates a new day. It's all about power, right? This is about standing in your power, the power to create. Your willpower is represented by the East. And, think about it, the East, this is birth, right? This is the rising sun. This is where it's birth, and the West is the opposite, right? So here's the sun moving across the sky. So it's birth. What season is birth?
Spring.
There we go. So we got a season of spring. What color comes to mind?
Green.
Green for spring. It could also be these colors, the colors of the sun, right? Oranges, yellows. Yes. Yeah. Flowers for. Well, yeah. So let's think about that. If we were what would be a Montreal spring flower? What's a flower of birth?
Blue.
Lilacs.
Blue.
Crocuses.
White.
Is there a native? Anybody know about native flowers, native plants that come up? No. So
for the province, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's right. A province would have a flower, right? Mm-hmm. But we have 4 more. We have 4 more that we have other directions that we can apply. Whatever. If you want to bring that next week, that would be cool to put the flower of the province in there. Yeah, or maybe there's other countries or a country flower. So this is what I mean by customizing it for what applies here. So are the crocuses the first flowers that you see come up here? The white snowdrops are probably earlier than crocuses, which are the purpley ones that. Yeah, yeah, and snowdrops are even before that. That's how it was in Michigan where I lived. Snowdrops were the first ones. So what do you say we use snowdrops for our wheel for the power of the East? We can have snow in the picture, right? Here's this is what I'm looking for. All right, because I am going to do a painting. I just haven't had the time yet because we've been making this beautiful entry here. Okay, and the color, do we want green or which is fine? Do you want other colors? How many people would like green for the color? Raise your hand. Okay. All right, well, that's a lot of the hands up. So online, if you guys could use your reactions at the bottom of the screen to, yeah, or you can physically raise your hand. Green, we have a vote here in the room for green. How about you guys? Why wants green? Anybody else? Okay. All righty. We're going for green. All right. And we're going to go with the snowdrop for the plant. Okay. Now think about this. What animal would, it doesn't have to be like a furry animal. It could be a fish, right? It could be a bird. It could be an insect. What would represent, what living being could really symbolize the loving compassion spirits of the East, birth and spring and willpower? Hey, welcome. Hi. And the start of things, the power of starting. Think about that. Canada geese.
The willpower to return.
Ooh. Canada geese, the willpower.
When you hear them honking, oh, everybody, I mean, there's no person who can stop and pay attention.
Yeah, when the flock flies over. How do you guys feel about that? Geese, Canada geese for representing the East? Online, any opinions?
They come back and it's not them, it's the. I think they're bored. Yeah.
All right, any other ideas that anyone wants to put forward? I see Wilma online and Marjorie, Anna Banana, Nicole. They're probably just listening. So, all right, Canada geese. Yeah, you can always add more, right? This will be a good start. Excuse me. What about, oh, Anna, hey, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, which direction is it?
This is East. We're starting with the East.
Buds? Do we do buds on the trees?
Buds. Yeah, we talked about snowdrops, but buds are also, put that in there. All right, so far we have the element of fire, we have snowdrops and buds, we have geese for animals, we have green for the color, the season of spring, the season of life is birth for the East. That's pretty universal in medicine wheels. And something that I found very helpful, it's not in all medicine wheels, but in the Twisted Hair Medicine Society in Michigan, I learned that the East is it's that power to get things done, the power to move, the willpower. So that's, you don't always see that kind of state of being in there, but I think that's an important thing. So that's our willpower. And the last element, the last piece, and you can go on and on. You can see how you can add ancestors in here, different lineages. There's a lot you can add. Let's actually do two more things. What is to the east of this building? Big geographic. Are there big geographic things?
The St. Lawrence River?
The St.
Maybe
Lawrence
that's more,
River?
maybe to the south.
Is Mount Royal to the east? So east is that way.
Yeah.
It's too far that way. So maybe that's more of a north. Is it the river? St.
Yeah.
Lawrence River?
That's river.
The river is sort of east and south.
Okay.
But we could use the river for that one if.
Is there something else to the south?
Yeah. South is the US.
You have the bridge.
I don't think you
Um,
want it, but you could do, yeah, neighboring country for the south. Why don't we start with the river? We can always change it as we go, make adjustments. And then the last one would be, is there a stone? Or what would be a good stone, Letitia?
There's rapids also.
Doing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's say rapid makers.
That river rapid stone, river rock.
Yeah, river stones. Yeah, there are some interesting rapids. Maya took me somewhere by the canal where people were, no, by her habitat. The guy was surfing. Okay, so we have, and it is the St. Lawrence River, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so join me in a little meditation. And just listen, let the drum, we'll use the drum to just guide our meditation. And I'm just going to read off our meaning here in the Unity Center of Montreal, our meaning of the East. I invite you to close your eyes and just relax in your seat, put down anything in your hands. Take a deep breath. Turn your attention to the east where the sun rises. Think of the St. Lawrence River. Think of the stones, the boulders in the river creating the rapids. Think of the river reflecting the fire, the sun as it rises over the horizon. Think of the green of spring and the willpower of life returning for the spring. That life-giving energy of birth. The sound of geese returning. And the beauty of snowdrops making their way through the snow, and buds ready to burst forth, birthing the spring. Let those images find a home in your heart. As you conjure up those feelings and senses, fragrances, and textures and temperatures of the physical spring. Think of the spiritual spring in your own hearts, in your own souls. Think of your own remembering and rebirth of the spring that's available to you anytime you choose to renew and refresh your physical body, your emotions, your well-being at all levels. As you turn towards the east, the birth and life-giving elements and animals and plants. So you feel that green of spring. Feel it wash over every cell of your body, every tissue, every bone. Breathe it in. Take it into your heart. And feel that energy that you just created, we created together with the help of all the powers and symbols of East. And spread that out from your heart in all directions, forward as far as you can imagine, behind you, out to the left, to the right, below you, down into the earth and above you. So that you are a sphere, 360 sphere, beaming out, ever widening, ever widening, ever widening. Getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Taking in all of Canada, all of North America. Spreading out wider and wider, over the North Pole, down to South America, over to Europe, over to Asia, bigger, 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 until the whole world is encompassed in your sphere of will and spring and birth. And just fill that up with love, birth, and willpower. Sound of geese and snowdrops. That everyone can feel this energy. Now come back here to the Unity Center of Montreal. As the power of the East beams through our beautiful stained glass window and fills our sanctuary right here. Beautiful sunlight. Take a big deep breath. Bring your energy right back here. Wiggle your toes. And your fingers, open your eyes, take in the sun. You can recreate what you just experienced for yourself, as being as simple as finding where East is in your living room or your kitchen and lighting a candle there. A candle is a universal symbol for birth and light and the sun and the East. Just, you can start with that, nice and easy. Next Sunday, I'll be on Zoom, but we'll be doing the powers of the next direction, which is the South. So I'll be looking forward to doing that with you. And this Wednesday for my workshop, that'll be right here and on Zoom from 5 to 7, we'll be actually making a little meditation mesa that you can take home. So we'll charge up some objects so that you'll have something to take home with you for each of these objects, for your own meditation table, or however it is you want to choose to honor the directions in your own consciousness shifting tool that we'll create together. So Wednesday, we'll create something for the East, and then we'll do that every week. So we talk about it, do a little meditation, and then we'll actually workshop it on Wednesday. So I hope you'll join me for that. Does anyone want to ask any questions before we move on in our service? Anyone want to ask or share? Victoria, did you want to? I see a look of like. You can bring your own. I also have some that I'll share, but yeah, you're welcome to bring. Yeah, and don't bring a whole lot. If you have a special something, feel free. It could be a candle, it could be a stone, whatever calls to you. Ceramic object, whatever, a shell, a leaf. The point isn't what is the object. The point is what it means to you and what we're going to charge it up with, what meaning we're going to give it together as we create our own wheel. And maybe by next week, we'll have a painting here behind me. So all the things that we came up with today, I'll try to bring to life in an illustration. All righty, now it is time for the love offering. Do I do that, or Maya? Dr. Maya, would you like to do that? And you're muted.
We are all yours. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is the time in our service where we get to take our prosperity energy and abundance energy and take the symbolism of sharing our resources with the Unity Center of Montreal for the continued growth of the community and the building, and to keep the money circulating, right? One of the first guidelines, especially in Unity, is, it could be a tithe, but just a gift that we'll charge up ourselves. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can take, if you have funds that you plan to give in the back in the brass bowl, or if you're doing something online, or if you're sending a check into the center, whatever it is, place it in your hand and let's put it on your heart, and let's say our divine love through me
As me.
blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I no, yours is a little bit different than the one I know, but it's the same intention, just a different order. We are grateful. We are grateful. And so it is. Thank you very
And
much.
so it is.
Now, a couple of announcements. So today, after the service, if you're all invited, we have a reserved table for 9 that Victoria organized at a good vegetarian restaurant down on Sherbrooke, down that way. And so we're going to do that at what time? Okay. So we'll leave from here and you're all welcome to join. It's a beautiful day for a walk. Also, this evening at 4:45, Kate is inviting us to her home for snacks after we have a sunset ceremony, Sunday sunset ceremony. And do you want to say where we're meeting?
So it's behind the.
Actually, come up here and say, because that way other people can decide to join us if they want to.
Good morning, y'all. So yes, we're going to be walking. There's a parking lot nearby. There's a park. It's got a name that I cannot pronounce, but it's a newer park that's dedicated to the indigenous peoples of the area. And in that, they've created sunset slabs, just coincidentally. So even before we had planned a meeting there, we're like, this is where we're going to do it. And then as I was researching it, we found that they actually have sunset slabs. So it's almost meant for sunset. So it's going to be beautiful. And weather looks like it's going to be pretty amazing as well.
Yeah.
And I think there's some leaves still on the trees. So there's a little bit of a walk. There's 2 angles to go, but we're going to go for the easy one today. And it's really close to the parking lot, which is free on Sundays. So another little miracle that we get to enjoy. And so we're meeting there at 4:45 at the parking lot. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay. 4:45 there's no facilities. So there's no drinking fountains or toilets, but we won't be up there very long. We'll do the sunset, and then I live nearby. So when we're there, we'll organize. I'll tell you how to get to my home, and we'll do some tea and some fruits, or if enough people, we could put some salads together and just have a nice little dinner. So whatever you guys are up for, but I'm excited to do
Thanks
it.
for organizing.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, Kate, question. What, can you give some street, because it's still not clear to me which park, where,
It's not clear to you? Yes, okay, fair enough. So
which,
are
you
you
mentioned
familiar
a
with the-
parking lot, you're not talking about Mount Royal, are you? You're talking about a park near the Unity Center?
It's in the
It's-
email. I can
Yeah,
resend it
it's
to
in the
Okay.
email. So if you're familiar with the called Polytechnique, are you familiar with that part of the city?
Yes.
Like the
Yeah, yeah.
University Metro
Yeah.
Station? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so there's a whole campus there, and then behind that, the hill kind of rises up behind it. So that's the general area. So yeah, the address for the parking lot is in the email.
thanks.
Anything else? We're good? Okay,
Yeah.
anyone else?
Thank
All
you
right,
for
all right.
arranging.
Oh,
It's
my
gonna be
pleasure.
great. It's gonna be great. Okay, we're pretty much. Thank you. What's the question? Hi, Charles, welcome. There's a, all we need is your email address, Charles. So there's a paper and pen right behind you, where by the candle is a green paper and a pen, and just hand it to me and I'll make sure you get added to the list. And I can resend you the one that has all this information on it too. Happy to do that. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for letting us know. I'm glad that you're interested. Thank you. Okay, well, hey, it is now time to do our peace song, I believe, and then we do our prayer of protection, right? Yep. And then afterwards, we're doing, before we actually close our whole service, Sandra's going to read a message in French. Thank you for being our roving camera. I really like that. Yeah.
Can you get up and then kind of circle?
We